Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're discussing masterpiece niche fragrances that can never be cloned. So these are my fragrances that I've chosen that I think are going to be extremely difficult to clone. The way that I understand about how fragrances are cloned is that another house might take an original creation, put it through GCMS analysis, kind of see what compositions are in a fragrance, and then they use their own nose that the perfumer has and try to reverse construct a creation, sort of recreate it in their own way. For a fragrance clone to be good, I think the original fragrance itself must not use too expensive fragrances. Most of the time, clone fragrances are there to be cheaper alternatives. They've got to have a blend that isn't too complicated, something that's more easy to recreate. And I think these six I've chosen today, these six niche fragrances, are just going to be impossible to ever clone properly. You might get a clone that just isn't good, it might be more clumsy. I just don't think you're going to get very good clones. I don't get excited by clone fragrances that much in general myself. I kind of just prefer more expensive smelling, rich, original, unique creations from niche houses these days, or even from Middle Eastern clone houses. I don't like the clones. I like Middle Eastern houses that do original creations also. However, I will admit that some clones are incredible. They get the originals really close, but I think that's more of a rarity than a lot of people will admit. So I think, if you're considering buying these six fragrances, I don't think you have to worry about these potentially having a really good clone later on. I just think they're so incredible, so rich, expensive smelling, so complex and fascinating in the way they're blended. I think, these are investment pieces that are going to stand the test of time. Let's begin. Amouage Interlude Black Iris. This is a fragrance I actually got two samples of over the years before I eventually pulled the trigger. You can get it really cheap actually sometimes, like £180 from websites like All Beauty. That's where I got my fragrance from. And I think this is a £300 smelling fragrance. This is incredible perfumery. It uses some of the most expensive ingredients out there. That's why I don't think clones can ever match this. You got real orris and you've got real oud in here with really expensive resinous amber notes as well, things like frankincense and popanax, which are all very expensive. So, maybe a clone perfumer can try to recreate, one of the notes like oud potentially, but then eventually all these expensive ingredients stack up on top of each other to the point that you really are going to struggle to recreate this masterpiece. It is dark, brooding, intense, powdery, some sweetness in here. It's a beautiful iris fragrance, an orris fragrance, not even iris. Using some of the most expensive ingredients, really beastly as well, maybe 14 to 16 hours with a medium to loud projection, but at the same time very classy and masculine. This is one of the best Amouage fragrances in my experience, and if you want a masterpiece evening cold weather scent that smells like some of the best perfumery you'll ever experience, then try this out. This is a 10 out of 10 winter scent to me. Ormonde Jayne's Montabaco Intensivo. This is an example where it's not necessarily the ingredients that make this elevated, although I do think they're using very good quality naturals. I think it's the blend here, the cleverness from Geza Shoan, who is actually more famous for his eccentric molecule creations, but he also worked for Boadicea the Victorious as well as other niche brands. He has made a masterful blend here. This is a very fresh, light, and relaxing, calming fragrance, whilst at the same time being very strong, very long lasting and very versatile. You get such great value for money just because of the blend, how smooth it is, and how long lasting and versatile this all is as well. It has tobacco, suedes, woody notes in here, tea notes, ozonic notes, a lot of different things going on that makes it all very balanced, unique. And you kind of pick up the notes, but you need to wear this several times. This is truly niche perfumery where you never get bored of this because it really is so complex. There's so many different aspects to pick out. Eventually you can, but it is just such a complex yet massively brought together recipe of perfume notes. 10 out of 10. 32% of people who watch School of Scent are subscribed to us. If you guys want to see our channel grow, to really help us out, click subscribe. Let's get that number to 40%. Thank you. Xerjoff's Alexandria II. I get bored of rose and oud fragrances a lot these days. I think a lot of them smell very similar to each other. A lot of them are quite lackluster, even the really expensive ones. If you're going to spend something like £300 on Ombre Non-Ban to buy Louis Vuitton, I say don't do that. Get Alexandria II instead. This is a standout rose and oud, using very expensive smelling woody molecules, real oud that's very smooth and not overly challenging. I think they've used a really nice variety of here. I'm not sure if it's listed which variety of oud they use in the Fragrantica notes, but I think it's very pleasant. This is a very rich, dense, unisex, maybe slightly masculine leaning, spicy, woody, rose and oud. That uses very, very expensive smelling ingredients. I get 24 hours longevity with a medium projection. I do not see how a clone will ever come close to this in terms of scent quality and performance. If you want a luxurious smelling, opulent, cooler weather signature, get Alexandria II. Aaron Terence Hughes Tabac. Aaron Terence Hughes definitely fits into that sort of family of the Tom Ford private blend line of fragrances like Tobacco Vanille and Tobacco Oud. It smells like this fragrance is basically a fusion of those two fragrances, and then the ingredients are much better as well. Aaron Terence Hughes, I feel like, got inspiration from the private blend line from Tom Ford and kind of made something incredible here. This is tobacco, vanilla, oud in here with other fruity notes, I believe, but this is just a very rich, smoky incense, sort of more intense version of something like Tobacco Oud. Better, longer lasting, and I remember having my conversation with Sam Macer, who's featured on this channel as a perfumer as well, who understands that some tobacco notes can be more expensive than others. I feel like Aaron has used a tobacco note or some sort of tobacco leaf or something like that that's much more expensive. It smells very natural. It smells like a real life cigar, like something really intense is in here. Like a very photorealistic cigar is what Aaron has created here. It's not the most easy fragrance to wear. I feel like you have to be really intense, masculine and confident as a person to wear something like this, but it's just beautiful as an art in itself. It's one of Aaron's best creations and often sold out for a good reason. 24 hours longevity with medium to loud projection. Parfum de Marly's Carlisle. Now, if you note on the different prices on Parfum de Marly, Carlisle is one of the most expensive fragrances, and I can see why. I don't think anyone's going to be able to clone this because they probably put out the price because they're using very good naturals here. A very dark but rich cold weather signature. I think they're probably using very good quality rose here. Rose can be one of the most expensive ingredients in perfumery as well. A lot of people don't actually know that. Very good patchouli. The spices smell photorealistic. It's excellent. It's beautiful. Probably very high quality vanilla as well. Vanilla can be one of the most expensive ingredients in perfumery as well. There's a wide spectrum of varieties there also. This is dark rose, patchouli and vanilla with an apple spiced kind of feel to this fragrance as well. This is like the darker older brother of something like Layton. If Layton's your beginner's scent into Parfum de Marly, this is the more advanced, more mature fragrance. It lasts 14 hours of medium to loud projection. A beastly fragrance that smells incredible. I definitely prefer this over Layton, but Layton is easier to understand. I think this has a bit of challenge to it, especially in the opening, but then it smooths down. It's easier to understand in the dry down. The blend is incredible, the ingredients are incredible. I do not see any clone ever coming close to this, and that's why I don't think you've seen any famous clones of Carlisle, whilst everyone knows Detour Noir exists from Al Haramain, for example. That fragrance is a clone for Layton. And lastly, Rouge Parfums Burlington 1819. I don't see how any clone perfumer can ever recreate this. I get confused still to this day just smelling this fragrance. You look at a notes breakdown and pretty much everything in the universe that exists is in the note breakdown here. Like Rouge has its very long note breakdowns, but this is a very complex fragrance. It's very difficult to understand. It's definitely one that you'll never get bored of, while still being very fresh and very long lasting. It's incredible how this is like a summertime fragrance that you can wear all year round, and it smells like money, it smells luxurious, it smells a little bit more mature as well, fair enough, but you get 12 hours of medium projection. That's why I easily think it's worth a £300 price tag. If you're gonna make a £300 price tag summer fragrance, you want something like this. Orange, spices, mints, amber, rum, really long-lasting musks. This never becomes overpowering, but I think they've used very expensive naturals and very expensive musks in here. There's no way a clone perfumer will ever recreate this. It'll never come close to this, hence why I definitely think everyone should try it out if what I've described to you today sounds like it's up your alley. And that concludes this video, guys. You know, I like a good clone fragrance that saves you a lot of money as much as the next guy, but I really do feel like some niche fragrances deserve their price tag, they deserve to be in a realm of their own. What do you guys think? What do you think of the video idea here today, guys? Do you know any niche fragrances that are masterpieces to you that can never be effectively cloned? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to check out our previous video on niche fragrances. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.